Hello everybody, welcome back. This is your tropical update for August 31st, the last day of meteorological summer. We're currently watching post-tropical cyclone Idalia, Invest 94L, post-tropical cyclone Gert, tropical storm Jose, and category 2 Hurricane Franklin. But in the order that I have them listed, not in the order that I said them. We have a while actually until we get Idalia to look like this again. We'll talk about that here. Now, here is post-tropical cyclone Idalia. Post-tropical due to a lack of convection near the center of the storm. All the convection well away from the center. That means it's no longer a tropical cyclone, although winds are still strong with this one, still bringing storm surge. I'll update more on that here in a second. Here's category 2 Hurricane Franklin, also becoming extratropical, but still has a few days left as a hurricane. Here's the remnants of Gert, which actually looks more like a tropical cyclone than Idalia does at the moment. Tropical storm Jose, which is definitely a tropical cyclone, and Invest 94L, which is developing into a tropical cyclone. We're also watching an area over the eastern and central Atlantic here that we need to monitor over the next few days. So several systems, again, 'tis the peak of hurricane season. Here's Idalia. It's generally going to meander down this direction as a post-tropical cyclone here within the next few days. As it gets about here, southwest of Bermuda, it will regain tropical characteristics and move up to the north, almost directly, probably directly, over Bermuda and up near where Franklin is right now. Then after that, it's actually going to make a hard turn this way, and that's about where I'm going to stop talking, because that's about a week from now that the system is about here. And so a lot can still change before then. But at this point, generally, everybody here needs to be paying very close attention to the future of Idalia, as well as Bermuda as well. Franklin's going to move out and about this way. Jose's going to move this way, and tomorrow will get absorbed into Franklin, which is a much larger system. Gert's going to kind of meander around as well. 94L is going to go up this way, and then that next Invest is going to rocket across the Atlantic Ocean. So we have several things to watch. Here's just 48 hours from now. Idalia located here already. It's going to generally dive somewhat southward here over the next 48 hours. Franklin's generally going to move northward, northeastward. Jose's going to move due north, and the remnants of Gert are going to move due to the east. Meanwhile, 94L is going to move to the northwest, and we begin to have another tropical wave come off of the coast of Africa. So several systems to watch in very close proximity to one another. All of these systems are. So we'll continue to monitor that. The reason I showed you at 48 is because the usual one I show at 1 week is very confusing. So like I said, Idalia is going to dive down here and then kind of move up near Bermuda and then recurve into the United States or Atlantic Canada. And it could also potentially recurve back out to sea, or it could hit land. We kind of have to see. Franklin going out to sea, Jose being absorbed into Franklin, Gert kind of meandering and then moving north. Once Franklin and Jose clear the area, 94L moving up with no impact to land, and 94L moving up, no threat to land. And then the next tropical wave moving across the Atlantic. It may turn up north, but several of the models keep it moving across the Atlantic, which, could always be something interesting to watch. Here's Idalia, like I mentioned, no convection. You see lots of rotation here, so it's still a vigorous cyclone. It's at 65 miles per hour at the moment. Tropical storm warnings remain in effect for a decent portion of the North Carolina coastline. Generally, this system, again, like I said, going to move south, regain tropical characteristics, move north near Bermuda, and then up, and then perhaps in back towards the United States, perhaps not. We'll kind of have to see. Storm surge still could be up to 4 feet along portions of the North Carolina coastline. We could see winds to 60 miles an hour, mainly down here in Bermuda. Max winds now up to 65 after it decreased after its interaction with land. Again, we are expecting a high chance of reformation of tropical, what's currently technically tropical storm Idalia, but it at 5 o'clock it'll become post-tropical. There's no doubt. Storm surge watches also remain in effect for North Carolina due to those up to 4 feet of storm surge. things. I'm actually not sure if I updated the advisory number down here in the corner, but that really doesn't matter. Again, some minor rain up to 1.5 inches remaining. And then again, like I said, perhaps a few feet of storm surge remaining in North Carolina, but other than that, no major impacts. Generally, Idalia is going to increase in strength for the next few hours, maybe then decrease as it begins its post-tropical life. And then once it becomes tropical again, there's a chance we could see the forecast re-increase. The National Hurricane Center keeping the forecast steady as there's a wide variation, everything from very weak to back to Category 1 hurricane strength. So these are just things that we need to watch. Here's Franklin moving away from Bermuda. Bermuda located here, pretty clear. Moving this way, again, you can kind of see it begin to take on that post-tropical nature. And here by Friday or Saturday, we'll see the system become a post-tropical cyclone over the open Atlantic Ocean. No more threat to land with this one, winds up to 100 miles an hour. Here's Jose, also a very healthy-looking tropical cyclone. I mean, not anything to write home about, but it has rotation. It has deep convection near the center. It's going to last another day or so at the most, but really nothing too crazy expected with this one. It will be absorbed by Franklin. This is the one we had been watching for a while. This is, I believe, the last system named 94L, or this was 92L, something like that. We had been watching this system for over a week. It finally became Tropical Depression 11 a few days ago, now Tropical Storm Jose. No threat to land. Here's 94L. Interest in the Cabo Verde Islands could merit to keep an eye or something on this system. But again, it's moving away from those islands at this point. You can see, though, it does appear to almost be wrapping around that center. We are lacking winds from that direction, though, or I guess going that whatever. We're lacking winds in this quadrant of the storm at the moment, and that's why it's currently not a tropical cyclone, but it is expected to become one soon, especially with that deep convection in the area. 80% chance of formation from the hurricane center. Gert, like I said, looks like a tropical cyclone, in my opinion. Here's Franklin right here. Here's the outskirts of Franklin. Here's Jose right here. And tucked in between them is little remnants of Gert, which to me appears to be rotating and appears to have deep convection, which means I wouldn't be surprised if at 5 o'clock we see this re-upgraded to a tropical depression, tropical storm. National Hurricane Center saying a 30% chance of formation within the next 7 days. It's possible. Again, nothing too crazy. Something like this is something that's perfectly fine if we handle it in postseason analysis by the Hurricane Center rather than immediately right now. Here's the final system we have to talk about today, an area of interest. It's currently, or in a couple days, it'll move off the coast of Africa and then make its way over into the central Atlantic, where it could begin to form. And like we saw, it could go north. It could also continue moving towards the Lesser Antilles. That's all for now. Chris Dixon, InfoWeather Media.